तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ जयन्ती मंगलकाली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवदात्री स्वाहा स्वादा नमोस्तुते। ॐ शांति शांति शांति। Sairam Lin, Sairam from Malaysia.
Sairam Sharma, Sairam from New Zealand. Thank you, Swami, for giving Sharma and I this opportunity to talk about a very, very popular subject. And we welcome our listeners as always. Today's topic is, what should I do with my money, Swami? Now, how many of us would have had that opportunity to ask Swami directly, what should I do with my money? Now, Swami wasn't averse to discussing money. And in fact, here in New Zealand, we have something called lotto, which is a kind of lottery where you can pay a certain amount of money. It can just be $1, or it can be up to the limit is $150. And you choose some numbers, or the computer will select numbers for you. And this is a very, very popular thing in New Zealand, the lottery. Now, we know that Swami does not approve of gambling, and lotteries are gambling. However, there are other things at play here, and one devotee here in New Zealand won the lottery. I can't remember how much he won. I think it might have been $3 or $4 million. And so he went to Swami and said, Swami, what should I do with my money, Swami? You could talk to Swami like this. And I encourage anyone, when you are talking to Swami in your heart, to talk to him, Swami, what should I do? But I am going to give you a shortcut, because Swami gives down 4 avenues for how you use your wealth or earnings. 1/4 of it, Swami said, should be used for personal use and for supporting the family. Another 1/4 should be used for charitable and religious purposes. Now that covers quite a broad range of, and it should always be within your means. Not all of us have $3 million to spend. Some of us only might even have $50 to spend, or not even that much. But he said, and Mata Betty always said, give charity within your sphere. In other words, do not exceed that 1/4. A 3rd 1/4, Swami said, should be spent on other living things like animals and birds. Now, you might wonder, now how do I spend a whole 1/4 of my money on animals or birds? When I was in the ashram, I was having a discussion with the revered Mrs. Godavari Pala, who is no more. But she once said to me, Lynn, feeding the birds is an act of compassion. The wild birds have to work so hard for their food. You can feed the wild birds, and the Lord of the birds will thank you and protect you. I thought that was beautiful. And of course, other living things like animals, you could feed fish, you could feed a stray animal, you can donate some food. At our supermarket, there are bins for donating food for hungry animals. The remaining 1/4, Swami said, should be offered for supporting the state. It is only when one's wealth is utilized in this manner, it will be really beneficial and meaningful. And then Swami got into charitable purposes. He said many people today give money for charitable purposes, but the reason for their action is to reduce the burden of taxes in one way or another. And he said crores of money are spent on temples. And he said it's no doubt good to build temples, but the real temple is one's own body. Without purifying oneself, what use is there in building temples? He said even temples built at the cost of crores of rupees are not properly maintained. Swarms of beggars ruin the surroundings of the temples. how much better would it be if the crores of rupees spent on erecting temples are used for improving the condition of the poor, the destitute, and the helpless? Institutions for helping the indigent unfortunates are more useful than temples, edifices for worshipping some deities. To give a helping hand to the helpless is real service, and love towards one's fellow beings is the best discipline. Swami is very clear that misuse of money is a great, great evil, and money must only be used for good purposes. He once told us that within the palm of your hands is a magnet. There is a magnet in your right hand. There is a magnet in your left hand. He said, only do good with your hands. Only earn money in dharmic ways. Now, this is very interesting. He mentioned that investing in stocks and bonds is not good use because you are not doing the labor with your hands. You are making the money off the backs of other people. Where there is gain for one, there is always loss. And he did point out that these magnets, which we cannot see, and of course they're not little metal magnets embedded in our hands, these are spiritual magnets. And he said you must always do good with the right hand and the left. Because if you don't, if you are taking money, is not clean money, if it has been stolen money, if you are investing in something that is not good for the help or the service of others, it will turn on you. The magnet will attract either good to you or bad. And I never forgot this. He said Lakshmi sits on the wrist and Saraswati, I think, is further up the arm. So we must always remember this when we are handling our wealth, our money. It may only be a small amount or a large amount. Size doesn't matter. It is how we take care to see that the money does not lead us into bad ways or bring a bad name to the country. By limiting your desires and reducing the amount of amenities required for comfortable living, you can devote yourself to the service of the poor and the forlorn. Swami said, seek to derive happiness from service to your fellow men. Happiness is union with God. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. तस्मात् कारुण्य भावेन रक्ष रक्ष साईश्वर. हरि ओम तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु. ओम शांति शांति शांति.